Right, we're back. But before we start, please let me just quickly. No, don't cut. Keep rolling, keep rolling. Let me just. I just wanted to sip on something before we start today's episode. That's Liverpool tears. In case you were wondering.
Wow, Tele, I am so surprised. I can't believe with 70% of this country underwater, you can drink water in front of your fellow Nigerians.
But that's not just water.
What type of person are you?
That is not just water.
70% of this country is underwater as we speak.
That is Liverpool tears.
You need to get your priorities in order.
That's Liverpool tears. Well, but that's a very good place to start. Apparently, the heartache does not stop for Liverpool.
Why doesn't it?
Because on the last episode, you said that by this episode, Liverpool would have been above Manchester United. But that's besides the point. It really is sad what's going on. Nottingham Forest, the bottom team.
Yeah, it was a bad game, but it's just a season like no other. Like, what are the odds of Darwin Núñez finally scoring hamstring ties? And then to make it worse, as in what war does all our injuries, Thiago wakes up with an ear infection? What the hell is that? Like, so at this point, as in, yeah, I've told him, Taiwo, if you're playing Premier League football matches with Curtis Jones and Harvey Elliott in your midfield, you're playing Carvalho. These are 19-year-old boys. There's Milner right back. Most Premier League teams will give you a game. But yeah, we had so many chances that we should have scored, to be fair. Like, we did cut them open, but they were just silly decisions in front of goal. And congratulations, Taiwo Awoniyi, former Liverpool player. So I've always liked him. Nigerian boy. So if anyone was going to score for them, congrats to him.
Of course, massive props to Taiwo Awoniyi. I remember when he signed for Nottingham Forest, we actually brought it on the show and we talked about looking out for him. He's one of those players that I expected would have a good time out this season. He has not been bagging in those goals, but he has come up with very important goals for Nottingham Forest.
Big moments,
in very big moments. Exactly.
Because there's a handful of problems. He's big, he's strong, he's quick, he's stressed out. He gave Joe Gomez a tougher game than Haaland gave him. And that's what the facts of the matter. I'm not saying it's better, but give Taiwo his props.
Right. And that is where we would start today. The question of the day. Is it safe to say that Jurgen Klopp's 7-season course is what is affecting Liverpool now?
I don't think safe to say that, because I feel like on this journey, within these 7 seasons, we've had seasons where it's all decimated. And after those seasons, we've gone on to win things and go far again. So when you're injury-ridden, like, you're going to lose football matches. And yeah, that's the case right now. The injuries came thick and fast. Like, we have 9 first-team players that haven't been injured this season. So it's like everybody has missed some games. So at this point, all we can hope for is second half of the season. We have like this, the World Cup, like a pre-season. A few of our players aren't going to the World Cup. Salah isn't going, Thiago isn't going. Maybe a few of them can get the rest that they need and then come back for top 4. But I definitely won't say top 4 is out of reach. I still think when it comes down to crunch time, if our players are fit, Jurgen Klopp being just one of the better managers in the league, will grind out those results. Yeah,
definitely. That question also goes out to you, our viewers out there. Let us know what you think. The question of the day is Jurgen Klopp's 7th season curse affecting Liverpool now? In my opinion, I think that is what is affecting Liverpool, because it is unexplainable to some extent, the kinds of injuries that you've had over time.
So do you think the injuries are a result of Klopp?
No, not necessarily Klopp, but the point is, when they say a curse, it's something that you can, it's diabolical, it's not something physical that you can really pinpoint and what have you. Besides Sadio Mane leaving and, that creating a massive technical conundrum, especially in attack, because there's no two ways about it. Liverpool usually attack, from the front, and usually defend from the front. And mostly you'd have Sadio Mane leading the press. Usually, that technical aspect of the game has been lost for Liverpool, and that has demanded of Klopp to switch things around. So this is basically a team that is having to find a new way to play with Sadio Mane missing. On top of that, you now have crucial injuries in crucial aspects, in crucial parts of the
That is what is changing the way we play, because Sadio Mane left and Sadio Mane stopped playing on the left wing. We signed the Sadio Mane replacement, and Mane had left the left wing. And this person I'm talking about, Luis Diaz, he's been our best outfield player this season. Everything you talk about, I even say that Diaz, he works too hard. So Mane worked hard, but this guy, watch him play. Like, he's always so shattered at the end of the game. No surprise he's injured now. So I feel like the reason why we have to change the way we play is because we just don't have the resources. Like right now, injured, we have a front three that is. This front three is good. It's better than Arsenal's front three on paper.
At the end of the
in
day,
Luis Diaz, Jota, and Darwin Núñez, that's a front three that should be at the top end of the team. How can all of them be injured at the same time?
At the end of the day, and now Liverpool have been, forced
crazy.
to play, away from the top
We're
three that they're very used to.
And
now they're playing
in midfield. Trent got
playing top
injured. Joe Gomez is our fourth choice centre back, but he has no choice but to keep playing. He has to play. Milner is playing. So yeah, we've just been decimated by injuries. And I think why my question Klopp, his style of football, gang pressing, just demands so much from players physically that maybe at some point their legs give way. And obviously there's the mental aspect as in losing the Champions League final and the Premier League one day. So mentally, that's where my question Klopp. But I feel like that's where the board has let him down, because when you have those methods that the players go so hard every season, you need new blood to refreshing it, and they haven't helped him do that in key areas in the pitch.
That's very unfortunate. I strongly follow that school of thought that says the 7-season curse is upon Klopp and is currently upon Liverpool. But of course, the heartache doesn't stop for Liverpool. Liverpool fans will be hoping that they can see something better in the coming fixtures. But I feel like we actually have.
That doesn't the heartache stop.
Because you've lost against Nottingham Forest.
So
you're losing bragging rights. Your supposed best ever, best ever era, best ever team hasn't really just
won
the Premier League.
They won Champions League. They won what they call it now. That's not our best ever team. That's our best ever team that you watched. Though. The Liverpool teams that won 3 Champions Leagues in a row. Yeah, Liverpool teams.
But yeah, let's move on from that. And still on the on the weekend, Chelsea and Manchester United played a very interesting game. In my opinion, Manchester United should have gone on to win that game. They played the first 35 minutes and had Chelsea, pinned back. They played Chelsea throughout, but massive kudos to Graham Potter. He saw the errors in his setup at the start of the game and he tweaked it on 35 minutes. And from then on, it seemed like an even game leading up to the 87th minute.
I would say from the start of the game, as soon as Varane went injured, it's like both United just lost that confidence, and you could just see it through the team, like the way they were defending deeper. Lindelof was making some passes that it just didn't look right again, and then Chelsea kind of got back into the game. But from like the 60th, from that injury, the game just went flat, to be honest. Like,
I would rather say that it is more about Graham Potter's tactical tweak, because that's
But that was in the 30th minute, and I feel like you guys were still on top of them for the rest of the half.
For the first half at least.
Yeah, so
for the first half
after the change, we were on top of them. And I think when Varane got injured, like I feel like you probably would have scored first. When he got injured, things just went weird, and then you brought in scores.
I feel like
nerves just like passing through United.
It was definitely more.
It
was definitely more of Graham Potter's tactical tweak, because that helped them to have more options in.
But they didn't even do anything. No, did they get chances even after the tweaks?
Yeah, at the end of the day, it just helped. It just helped them in the sense that Manchester United were not able to exploit the weaknesses that that they had in the middle of the park.
Well, I guess they showed no impotence, man.
Well, that was the game of the weekend for me, especially as a Manchester United fan.
Big game was
very big game.
The Newcastle game.
Yeah, we're still going to that. But the match in itself, the Chelsea and Manchester United match, both teams played 3 days before that game, and I feel like it affected the quality of the play.
Game.
Both teams did not have that, like both teams fizzled out in like 60 minutes. And it felt like everybody was just trudging along.
This cramming in of games is a problem, because
it's a major problem.
Exactly something I want to speak on. I kind of spoke on Varane getting injured, but there's so many games and people are getting injured now because of this, and they're missing. I'm sure we'll get to this later. I can't remember.
Yeah, definitely. And that's it. Another big game that happened over the weekend: Tottenham versus Newcastle. That one was actually a massive clash, because that put Tottenham, down out of the top 4, and Newcastle
I
into
guess
the
we
top
need to have
4.
a serious discussion about if Newcastle are in this top 4 race. Like, is it going to be Newcastle, Liverpool, Chelsea, and United fighting for
first spot?
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting to see. But do not forget, Tottenham do have one game in hand over. Newcastle actually do have one game in hand over Tottenham.
No, they have a game. They played a game.
They played more than Tottenham, more than Man U, more than even
United
Liverpool
win the match. United do go into
definitely
the top 4.
Definitely go into the top 4.
Yeah, the gap just closed. But I think it's just interesting that at this stage in their development, they already compete for top 4. People that said maybe in the next 2-3 years they'll compete for top 4. But if they get top 4 now, they can sign Mbappe by next summer now. They're already in champs.
Yeah, definitely. And that's something that I feel like we should look at seriously. take Newcastle seriously, especially
Money rules the world, man.
Bruh.
And I've been lamenting about City. Money was ruling the world. But then now
and this
the
is the
richer man
thing.
has come.
This is actually the thing, right? We've not seen Newcastle make those big budget signings
Yeah,
yet,
'cause they can't
and
be
that
small.
should worry everybody.
Everybody.
They've not started making big money signings.
This is not going to be the team that in 3 years, maybe
Bruh.
Maximan might still be there, maybe Isaac might still be there, but most of all these long stars,
They've not
they're going to be gone, bro.
They've not made big money signings yet, and we're already seeing Newcastle playing well. And I feel like that's good for the game still. It might,
It's
I
bad.
mean, Eddie Howe's,
It's good. I mean,
it's good for them. It's good for them.
It's good for Newcastle and Newcastle,
Right.
only, but like Klopp was actually talking about this recently about how Newcastle and City, like the possibilities are just endless with them. When you have a pool of money that's infinite, like, so I don't know how good is that for the competitiveness of the league. The fact that a whole nation as rich as Saudi Arabia can just pick a club and say, yeah, I'm going to make it the best team in the world now.
That's something to actually ponder. And yeah, moving on from that, we're going to talk about Arsenal. Arsenal should have gone, they should have gone and won that game against Southampton. But
Maybe it's what you're saying about playing games recently. So Arsenal just played in the Europa League as well. So maybe it's starting to take its toll on them. And that's what we all want to see, because this is not the Arsenal.
you don't want them running.
Like,
You don't want them running.
they're running amok, man.
Right, and then moving on from that, let's talk about the Fantasy Premier League. Last weekend, I did have a very good weekend.
I actually haven't checked on my team, but I'm sure we can put that up. So.
Yeah, bagged 73 points. Haaland.
73?
Did you captain Haaland?
Yeah, sure.
Definitely
Haaland was my
bagged
captain.
you 26
26
points.
I remember, I don't think I had any other big hitters like that, but I'm sure it's on the screen now. So.
Yeah, definitely. I just want to drop 1 or 2 hints for you guys. Now is the time to, if you haven't had Kieran Trippier in your squad, now is the time to bag him. And now is a very good time to also pick up on Almiron or Bruno Guimaraes. Those are players that are doing very good for Newcastle. Newcastle are on the up. Confidence is exceptional for both of them. And yeah, definitely look at getting them in your squad.
Another low-key player I'll say you should look at, whose resurgence has made me really happy, is our Nigerian bro, Alex Iwobi.
Yes.
Only
yes,
De Bruyne has
yes.
more assists this season, I believe.
Yes.
And his assist this weekend was, you don't know that assist
had
where you do it
2
and the whole
assists,
team
actually.
runs to meet you. But one of them in particular,
that was the back heel
Iwobi
flick.
has come in, and I think this moving into a central midfield position has really just changed his game, because he's not an attacker and he's big, he's strong, he can pass the ball, midfield works.
Yeah, definitely look at Iwobi now, look at Almiron as well, look at Guimaraes, look at Trippier. And talking about players that you shouldn't be looking at the moment, and if you have them in your team, you should be looking to sell them to free up space. I would say Mohamed Salah. Sell Salah now. Get in maybe a De Bruyne or another Man City
saying
midfielder.
Darwin Núñez, he just messed me up because he was injured. But Núñez is going back.
Yeah,
That's the
Núñez would
differential.
have been somebody
he would have
that
scored.
you should have.
He will
Yes,
score.
definitely.
And when he comes in, like, I was looking at the stats, like his stats are better than Gabriel Jesus, and the whole was going crazy for Gabriel Jesus. Like, look at Darwin Núñez.
Yeah, and that's definitely something. But talking about the schedule, the football schedule at the moment, World Cup is less than a month away. It is looking very, very iffy for many players. Varane, got out injured.
When you see, you can just tell from the reaction of the player after when they know they're missing the World Cup. Because the World Cup is in 4 weeks now. Even if you have a hamstring tweak, you're probably not going to be ready for the World Cup. So any little injury now, and I feel like players might actually start playing within themselves for the next few weeks, because missing out on the World Cup is heartbreaking.
very,
You see it
very
on
big
Netflix,
deal.
like we saw Rich James in the stands for your man. You can literally see the depression on it. You saw Jota crying on the pitch. You saw Varane, like,
Varane as well
this guy
cried.
was in
Varane
tears,
actually
like, he was
cried
covering
too.
his face. He was
Yeah.
weeping on the pitch. And it's horrible to see, man.
Yeah, that's definitely something. But of course, we'd all be looking forward to the World Cup happening. Unfortunately for the players,
I'm not really
might
feeling
be
that
missing
World
out.
Cup ginger for some reason. Like,
Nigeria is not there first.
I mean, Nigeria's not there, but
And
I just don't
it's
feel
actually
that- and I think
it's coming
it's 'cause
at a very weird time. too.
it's coming at
This
a
is
weird
not
time.
you're not expecting
It's
to
a
be watching the
summertime
World
feeling,
Cup,
and
at this point.
it just doesn't feel right. I feel like, and then because it's in Qatar, the games are going to be at night, so they're not going to be doing the day, and that's the sun in like. Just that feel of the World Cup. Maybe when it starts, we will get excited.
And of course, that's a very good place to put a pin on it. But before we go, massive props to the team out here at Accelerate TV. Look at that major key alert. That's a plaque from YouTube for having crossed the 100,000 subscriber mark. And of course, it's onwards and upwards from here, right?
Yep,
Yeah,
1 M
definitely.
next.
Of course, let us know what you guys think about everything that we said on the show today. Our Nigerian brothers are doing good on the big stage.
Osimhen, winner against Roma last night, amazing
Big,
goal.
big.
Napoli
Big
top
one.
of the league, top of their group in Champions League.
Big one for Osimhen out there. Iwobi as well is doing amazing in the Premier League. Taiwo Awoniyi scored against Liverpool. I think it's big. You know, Nigerians are eating good.
Yeah, I like it. Good to see.
Yeah, definitely.
No
and
World Cup, sure.
yeah, even the under-17 women too. Jerry, thanks for reminding us. Yes, the under-17 women too are doing
They
big
beat
things.
USA.
Yes,
yeah,
on penalties.
Yeah.
1-1 and then 4-3 on penalties. And yeah, they did it an actual Thanksgiving service on the pitch right there and
Of course
then.
they did.
Trust Nigerians to do that. Of course, we'll catch you guys in the next one, and that'll be all for now. Peace.